You must never give up on that L emotion, that love emotion. Never, ever, 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 ever give up on such. It is Amanda Black with Love Again. And before that, we had a Soweto Gospel Choir with Sunlight to My Soul. And honestly, guys, this is probably the only time you're going to see me in my lover girl mode, even with you, okay? So excited to have this conversation that we're going to have now right here on the Oasis. It is a 6:30 and we're going to reflect on Valentine's Day, but we're going to begin the conversation with a deeper kind of love, the love required to grow, to evolve, and sometimes let go of what no longer serves us. Our guest this morning is Gugu Mbuku, widely known as Pastor G, a speaker, author, strategist, and thought leader whose work bridges faith, leadership, emotional wellness, and intentional living. Raised in Mthatha, shaped by lived experience across corporate leadership and ministry, his message speaks to transformation not as theory but as daily practice. And his latest book, which the cover is amazing, I think just even judge, this is the only book that I will judge by its cover, okay? His latest book, I Had to Leave to Live, explores the courage it takes to walk away from limiting environments, outdated mindsets, and misaligned relationships in order to live fully and authentically. Pastor G in the house.
Ntsako.
How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing amazing. Life is just good, you know. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Are you that bad, guys?
Yeah. Life is not that bad. Life is what you make of it. Your perceptions, your opinions, your views, where are you standing from what standpoint? Pretty much like, is the glass half full or is it half empty? It is half, but the perspective changes everything.
Yeah. I think also a day like this, I think we can all get kind of inundated by the joy and the love, but there's some people that are actually going through some really tough times. There's some people who are going through divorces, breakups, maybe even just the current state of their lives. They're looking at it and they're saying, this is not where I want to be. So how can your book inspire us? I mean, I even want to start with that. I had to leave to live. I have so many questions. What did you leave?
Okay, let me start with the personal stuff.
Yeah.
What birthed the actual book. So I'm a person who is very much I think there's something called too kind. You can be too kind to the point of being unkind to yourself.
Oh yes, people pleasing. Yeah.
So I call it the savior complex. So kind of like, I have to be there for everybody, I have to save everybody, I have to and that became a disadvantage to my own life, to my own livelihood. And it was chipping away pieces of me, it was taking away from me, and it was draining me. It was a heavy cross to bear, and it was good for everybody else. Like where you are trying to make everyone comfortable and happy, but you are literally dying on the inside. But people are praising you nonetheless. Because you are doing this, you are generous, you're kind, you're loving, you're supportive, you're all these things. But for how long can I hold off doing this? You know, for how long am I going to be able to sustain this? So it was an internal conversation where I had to kind of like go to a mind mirror where I look at myself and I see myself. Yeah, everyone else is looking at me and everyone is happy about me, but am I really happy about myself? Am I really happy about what's happening right now in my life? Do these relationships really matter that much, to the point of call it throwing away my livelihood, my sanity? Do they matter that much? What value add do they have if they are only taking and not giving anything? So it was that conversation where I had to also look at where I said some of these things I allowed. That is the toughest admission that one has to confront, where you realize that you actually allowed this environment, you actually allowed this behavior, you allowed people to be abusive in even though they never intended to be abusive, but it's abusive. It's self-inflicted abuse, but through other people, but you allowed it. And now people expect you to continue being the Pastor G that they know, who is always there. I can call at 10 p.m. and he's going to be available. He's going to probably drive across the city to come and save me. He's going to, that kind of a person. And it was internal battles first before I started looking on the external factors. So it was leaving all those internal beliefs about myself, being this super guy, this Superman, being this all to every person, it was leaving those, it was leaving the ideas that I had about myself. It was leaving and getting some clarity on who actually am I? Who am I outside of saving people? Who am I outside of the applause? Who am I outside of looking for the next person to
save? Yeah.
That was it. So it was birthed from that. So somebody who is really struggling with whatever experience, a breakup, or you have to. Most of the time, when Ntsako, when we struggle with living things, it's because they have become intertwined into our identity. Ooh. So living the things is like living yourself. Feels like living yourself. So we have allowed them to define us. We have allowed them to become. We have become what these things are. And so when I say, who is Ntsako if the mic is taken away? Suddenly Ntsako doesn't know who she is if the mic is not there. It's those things that we have allowed over the time to be integrated and intertwined and so deeply engraved into our identity that we have lost who we are. We define ourselves by what we do. So these are the things that I had to walk away from. These be it relationships, be it the mind framing concerning my own identity, be it the environments that I found myself sometimes, because there are places that most people will go to just so they don't seem funny to other people. You don't want to be there. Your personality is a misfit there. This is not your crew. This is not where you're supposed to be, but everybody else expects you to be there, and you take one for the team, as they call it, but you are the team in this case. You take one for yourself, and it hurts you. It hurts you when nobody else sees. You keep the smiles on, you keep the laughter, but on the inside, with every single one of those experiences, something is being taken away from you. And the saddest part is that these things are not just taking what's present, they are taking from your destiny. They are taking from what you could become. And now you start seeing yourself as this person who doesn't deserve love. As we're talking about love today, you don't deserve love, or this is the best love you can get, and then you stick around because where else am I going to go if I leave this particular relationship? Who else is going to love me this way? Because you have defined love in this abusive manner, in this tormenting manner, in this you are anxious about leaving this relationship because what's on the other side, I don't know what's we don't know, and it's scary and it terrifies us. So it's like putting shackles on yourself. It confines you, and yet it's comfortable. So that's where the whole thing came from. It was there has to be more to me than just what people are getting.
You know what I find when we interact with people, especially when we talk about like transformation, realignment, and kind of looking within, is that most of them do know that they have to leave something behind, whether it's maybe addictions, it's relationships, as you were alluding to, work environments. But I think fear is one of the most daunting and limiting emotions one can feel. Because even when you listen to women saying, you know what, I'm done with this marriage, or I'm done with this relationship, like I can't, and then they, you know, one would say, no, then leave. They say, but how?
Yeah.
How do I start? And I feel like that's a question that comes up a lot, and I want us to get into it in just a moment. We have to just take a quick break. It is 6:39 Central African time right here on the Oasis.
Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has informed UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres that South Africa will withdraw its troop contribution to MONUSCO, the UN peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, after nearly 27 years of involvement. Defense expert Dean Wingren, what are the main security implications of South Africa withdrawing troops from MONUSCO, and why now?
South Africa has been part of the MONUSCO mission since it was established in 1999, and is South Africa's longest-running peacekeeping and peace enforcement mission. So it's not something to be taken lightly when the President says that he's unilaterally withdrawing from the mission. Why now is the question. Well, the MONUSCO mission has always been intended to be terminated initially at the end of 2025, and then it was extended to the end of this year. So with the funding crisis within the UN generally, there's less funds for these peacekeeping missions, and hence the UN has had to cut back on the various contributing countries and equipment.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. Start your weekend grounded and refreshed. Join Ntsako Mhlanga on the Oasis, Saturday from 6 till 9, only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
6:41 Central African time, just 19 minutes to go before we head to the top of the hour on our Valentine's Day special. We're also talking about, and I feel like you cannot talk about love and like romantic love and relationships and marriage if you do not love yourself. And sometimes you have to love yourself enough to remove yourself from something that no longer aligns with you.
That's true.
So for me, it's not just going through the experience, right, of you saying, you know, you going through these things, but how did you now pin it down? How did you now put this book together and kind of bring all these thoughts and ideals and, you know, what was important, what is not important, you know, in this book?
Okay, so being a pastor as well, having to sit with people, you know, to offer counsel to people. So you learn some behaviors from other people as well. Okay, you speak to people and you say, guys, I need you to really be honest and evaluate maybe your relationship and evaluate your individual purposes, and see if you can find anything that's really common that you're working towards, or are you going to continue being roommates who are just one is going left and one is going right? And you get that. I get my own experiences as well. So it was a collective of all those things and research. I'm an avid reader. I love doing research as well. I love academia, so I collecting all those, understanding the human psychology, understanding why people do things they do. It was then what started me putting down, okay, if the subject is so the topic came from my personal life, obviously. Before there was anything to pen down, there was a journey that I walked through. This thing lived in my bones. This was me waking up every morning with a corporate job, and I was not happy. But the job had become me, in that it had become my identity. I didn't know who I was going to be outside of being a company executive. So basically shackled into the job. So people get shackled into those, shackled into careers, shackled into relationships, because fear just not only cripples but also distorts the future. So it cripples you from living, and then it distorts your view of what it could be, and all you see is doom and gloom staring you in the eye in front of you. So when I started penning down, it was putting all those things together to say, okay, I've experienced this one, but I've seen people, I've walked with people through this particular chapter. I've helped people navigate this. I've picked this up on psychology research on how the human mind works and what makes people not respond or rather resistant to transitions, because we resist transitions very much. We resist change. We resist moving out of things that have become comfortable, and sometimes it's what if the next partner is worse? What if the next job is worse? Now you are living your life on the terms of fear of something that has not even happened and may not even happen, but you're already there and you've already decided it's not going to be well. So putting all that down, and it has taken me a number of years. This is over 5 years in writing.
What?
This has been writing and you know, writing and deleting and saying okay, and then asking myself, who's the audience? Why? Who am I trying to speak to? Am I venting here, or am I?
I love that. I love the honesty.
Yeah, or am I really trying to help somebody to find their own way? So then it became a thought that says, let this be a journey. Talk about your journey. Talk about how other people can also take this journey with you through the words that you'll put in this book. And also, obviously, with the formatting and everything, it was not everybody loves to read, so you have to also be mindful of that and know how to write it so that even the lazy reader looks at it and like, oh, okay, I can read this one.
It's the first thing I was actually about to ask you now, because I'm looking at the writing and it's like, it's really, really big, and I was like, wait, I'm not wearing my glasses right now.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that it's palatable, you know, because you, as much as it's reading reminds me of the gym, you know, once you start, you can't stop, but like, it's hard to start, you know? So I'm glad you were intentional about all of this, you know? I feel, for me, when you say life is good, life is, you know, my heart gets so warm when I hear that. I love it when people are in their happy mode, are in their happy spaces. You know, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to in 2026? You know, especially in with this book, with the things that you have going on. What are some of the things that we can look forward to, even supporting you?
So what I'm looking forward to is really, obviously, the book, getting it out to people for mainly impact, not to get my name out there, because I've come to realize that a lot of people need somebody to tell them this journey is okay, this journey is normal, this you are not. Saying goodbye is not losing. Saying goodbye sometimes is a hard choice that you have to do for you to recalibrate for you. So I'm looking forward to sitting with people, you know, having sessions with people and telling them that you are not lost. You are starting over, or you are going back to where you lost everything, because sometimes it is not necessarily starting over, but helping somebody navigate to the point where everything started falling apart. Okay, let's dial it back there and let's go and march forward together. So I'm looking forward to hosting those workshops or seminars, if you want to call them, but I want to sit with as many people as possible to just say, guys, let's find a good footing for our lives, because a shaky footing is not going to get you anywhere. It's just going to make you live with I mean, I've picked up from research that we're living in one of the highest anxiety and depression times ever. And you look at that, but you look at people, they're thriving in their careers and everything. But and also I did some research on, you know, how young professionals, particularly, the coping mechanisms that they use for their careers, you know, because of the pressures that they have. So I want to sit with those people. I want to be that guy that says, guys, I know what you're facing. Let's walk the journey. You don't have to use that substance. You don't have to do that. Let's find a way to cope without destroying ourselves, because you are compromising your future while you are trying to maintain the status quo. So I'm looking forward to having a year of impact. I think that for me is a year of impact, a year of people seeing me more than just being a corporate practitioner, a leader, or a pastor, just a relatable person that can help them find their feet and not be ashamed to choose themselves. You know, I always tell people, choosing yourself is not selfishness, it is necessary. Because if you cannot love yourself, if I have to go into the Bible says love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if I don't love myself, surely there's no love for anybody else. So I'm looking forward to making people change their frame of minds into seeing that life begins with a sound you. Once there's a sound you, the environment you're in becomes sound. Everything else, every person that you meet, you are able to smile and say life is good. And they tell you, but how is life good when I'm facing this? And then you start sharing the goodness of life and making them see the little things that they are missing because they are focusing on everything else that is not going right. And I've come to understand, Ntsako, is that we do have bad things in life that are happening in our lives.
Of course.
But if you were to be realistic and take stock of your life, you'll see that there was more good than bad, but the bad is too loud at times.
I think also, to be honest, it's a balance. Life sometimes reminds me of nature. I mean, there are days where it's raining but the sun is still shining at the same time. You know, there are days where it's stormy and then an hour later the sun is out again, but the grass is still wet. You know, but it does not mean the sun is not the sun anymore. Actually,
my dad used to say this. He used to say, even when it's overcast, even when there's a huge storm, the sun is still there beyond the clouds.
Yes.
So the clouds do not take away the presence of the sun. The sun is still there. So the clouds are there temporarily, and you get to see this, especially if you want to travel and you see the flight.
When it's stormy, then the cloud is super white with the sun on top.
And then the storm is right beneath you, and you're flying above the storm. Then you get to see, the sun never actually leaves. So I always have a reason to smile, because even when I see the clouds and I see the storm, something in me always tells me there's a sun beyond the clouds. The sun is still there. So there's something to look forward to. The clouds will eventually run out of rain, and then they'll subside, and the sunshine is going to shine through.
You know, I went through a very tumultuous time in 2023, 2024. And I remember making a certain promise to myself. So the tumultuous time was everything that you've alluded into this book, you know, the leaving situations, jobs, all of that. I really had to say, like, you know, when you just when a child just drops everything, and then, you know, so I was going through that. And I remember one of the promises I made, that when I get to a certain place of happiness and stability, I'm going to romanticize every little bit of my life. And for me, what are some of my question to you, because that was my promise to myself. What do you think is a promise that people need to be making to themselves as they step into that change and that transformation?
I think the promise is to not allow yourself to be dragged into a life that is defined by fear.
Can we pause? I'm sorry. That is not something you can just say and move on from. I need you to repeat that for me.
So you must never allow yourself to have a life that is defined by fear.
I wish you could drop these mics. We can't. Can only lift them up.
But yeah, because if the moment fear defines your life, everything else becomes distasteful. Everything else becomes sour, becomes dreadful. Everything is threatening. Everything is. You become apologetic about who you are, and I don't know if you've been through that season where you live your life as an apology. Every time you get to people, you are this. There is no sense of pride, and I'm talking about pride that looks down on other people. The sense of pride that says, "I know who I am."
Godfidence.
Yeah. Godfidence. Exactly. This is who I am, and this is what I bring to the room. And you get to rooms and where you're supposed to be celebrated. You're apologetic about that. Even your achievements, you're apologetic because fear defines your life, and so you cannot allow yourself to be defined. That's the promise you need to make to yourself, to say, I have lived long enough through this treacherous time. It's never going to happen again, and because I'm not going to allow fear to define my life, because fear breeds anxiety, and anxiety leads to paranoia and depression, and everything becomes you against the world. No, there's no me against the world. There's me living life in the world.
And having a good time while doing it, man.
Yeah.
Having a good time while doing it.
Having reasons to smile. I wake up, I take one breath in and out. I'm like, wow, life is good. I'm still breathing. Okay, I can still think. I'm still in my right mind. It's the little things that kickstart your day where you look at, I can still stand on my own. Okay. I may not have all the answers, but I still have a life. I still have a mind. So I can still look through. One other thing, second thing, be a person that make this one of your life's motto. Do not react to situations. Respond to situations. Do not react. Respond. Reactions are triggered and defined by whatever actions come against us. So when someone raises their hand to slap me, the reflex, which is the reaction, is to block them. I don't. It's voluntary. It's not something that I think about doing. So reactions are like that. So people do things to you, and you don't take time to let it simmer, and so you can carve an appropriate response. Responses are well thought. Consider everything, and then when I've done it, I have nothing to apologize for. I have nothing to regret, because I considered all the angles, and then here's my response to what's happening. So don't be a reactive person. Be responsive to everything that you have to face in life. Obviously, proactivity is very much important in your life's journey. Don't wait for things to happen. Make things happen.
Pastor G, so thankful that you joined us. So thankful that you started the show and someone's mourning like this, because there are people that are even going to make decisions today to maybe just live boldly and maybe even just go ask that woman out. Maybe some of them are saying, you know what, today's the day. I'm not going to be fearful. I'm not going to fear rejection. I'm going to go and fetch my life.
Some people have watched people walk down the aisle because you were afraid to tell them how you feel. And now you are invited as the buddy.
Invited as a guest. Where can we find you on social media? I don't want to miss a single thing in case you have like youthful talks, and I definitely want to be there.
So on social media, on TikTok, IG, and X, it's at Gugu Mbuku, on all three, and Facebook, search my name, Gugu Mbuku. You'll find me there. Everything is just simple, no pseudonyms or stage names or whatever they want to call it. So just search at Gugu Mbuku or Gugu Mbuku on social media. Or alternatively, you can go to my website. It's www.gugumbuku.org. Also, you'll find there our online store where you can see books, upcoming events, tickets, book launch that is upcoming as well.
That's so exciting.
So it's going to be very much conversational, so I'm looking forward to that one. It's on the 7th of March. More information, as I said, will
day
be
after my birthday.
Day after your birthday?
Yes.
I'll send you a message on your birthday.
This is just absolutely fantastic. I think we needed to hear this. We needed to hear that it's actually also not as deep. I feel like you made leaving not deep in this entire conversation. You literally just said, guys, just take one step, and then the next day you take another step. So I really, really
and the thing is, a lot of
time.
people look at the title and I had calls, people saying, I saw the title, Pastor G, and it's scary, so I'm not going to buy it now. Because I dread what I'm going to have to deal with when I read the book. Look, guys, this is very simplified and practical. It's something that you will get to understand and walk in it very free. It's liberating. It's not as scary as you think.
Gugu Mbuku, guys. Pastor G, man. It's not the last time you're going to be joining us today. Thank you so much for coming through and having this amazing conversation with us. And we'll be sure to support you at any event. Invite us. We like events.
We'll do.
Big fan of them.
I'll make sure of that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ntsako. Thank you to the listeners. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor.
Thank you. It is 7 a.m. Central African Time. Time for news.
SABC News.